It is so great to see everyone. We are thrilled to be here and talk to you about Gusto Pro. It's great to see everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Let's get started with some intros. So my name's Bridgette Haymaker, GM and Head of Product for Accountants here at Gusto. I joined Gusto about a year ago. That decision was mostly for a big passion for small businesses. Similar to Lerone and many other folks here, my parents started a small business when I was very young. Ran it till I was in about college. Side note, my mom was their accountant. And I just have vivid memories of coming downstairs super late at night. They were hard at work, figuring something out for a client. And that dedication really stuck out in my head. It was that same dedication I saw while leading product for QuickBooks Online. I was there for about 10 years, attended many a Leader conference. But I couldn't be more thrilled to be here working with such an incredible team who's all here, building products for all of you. It's just incredibly thrilling.
Hi, everyone. I'm Will, probably the slightly less famous Will on the team here. I lead design for the accountants team, where we're focused on delivering great product experiences. Previously, I worked on our payroll product, our HR product, and our benefits product, and even our original accountants product many years ago. Prior to Gusto, I was a startup co-founder, so I experienced firsthand what it takes to start and run a small business. It's an honor to be here with all of you today, and apologies if my voice is a little bit scratchy. Bridgette and I both joined the team at the same time, and one of the first things that we did was spend time with many of you to get a better understanding of your world.
Well, I don't know about you, but I expected to chat with a ton of accountants that were super passionate about payroll.
Yep, me too.
Let's check out what we heard.
Payroll is one of those necessary services that we have to provide clients.
I think it's a love-hate relationship.
I hate payroll.
I would rather eat a bowl of cauliflower raw.
I hate running it. I hate billing it. I hate charging for it. I don't really even like talking about it.
And if there's anything that we have to do right every time, it's payroll.
Sometimes our clients will send us payroll via an Excel spreadsheet or CSV file.
And require some kind of manual export and manual manipulation that frankly takes away valuable time.
Normally, ideally, perfectly, 1 to 2 days for someone to gather the information, post the information, review the information.
How do we just create a standard process around this to simplify it for ourselves as well as for our clients?
I wish somebody would solve the headache of payroll.
To give us back time to work on higher value and higher quality work.
To remove the stress and the time it takes to successfully process the payroll and ensure that it's being done right.
Somebody, help us out. Help us out.
So good. Thank you, Naya. All right, so clearly we had the wrong idea. And clearly you all are really struggling to deliver efficient, high-quality payroll to your clients, made even worse by the massive labor shortage happening in the profession right now.
So with everything that we learned, we set out to help you unlock scale in 2 core areas taking up a significant amount of time. 1, running complex payrolls, and 2, finding and fixing client issues.
Let's double-click into the first. So during our time with accountants, we kept hearing about how all of you were taking on the most complex, most time-consuming payrolls, often for clients with hourly employees, restaurants, retail stores, and it was consuming a lot of your available hours and making it really difficult to scale your firms. So we dug deeper. We ran a survey. We watched you run payroll for your clients. We dug into product analytics, and what we found was that generally the end-to-end process looked something like this. You'd start by downloading a timesheet report from time tracking software or grab it from a client via email. You'd then go out and get additional data like tips or commissions, combine it all into a master spreadsheet. You'd manually enter that data from that spreadsheet into Gusto. You generate a draft, send it to your client, finally run payroll. And in that survey we ran, we learned that on average, this whole end-to-end process takes about 50 minutes. And when you break down that time, the majority, about 60%, is spent manually preparing data for payroll, often in spreadsheets. And so then we started looking at CSV upload usage data, wondering, hoping that some folks were speeding up the process that way. But what was wild is we saw that only 1% of accountant-run payrolls were leveraging CSV upload, mostly because of some pretty rigid requirements associated with our template. So we started asking, what would be required for you all to drop in any spreadsheet in any format, no data preparation, manipulation, and just have it work? What would it look like to take that whole end-to-end process down from 50 minutes to less than 5 minutes, even for the most complex payrolls? And we're sharing our answer with you today. Introducing an all-new AI-powered payroll flow purpose-built for you all. I want to make this super tangible for you and show you what this is going to look like for Michael and his client, Handlebar Cyclery. They've got 26 employees. They're a bike shop, mostly hourly. So we're going to start in an all-new payroll hub in Gusto Pro. Here I can see a list of all my clients' payrolls, which ones I'm responsible for versus my client. I can see upcoming payroll deadlines. And here I can see that Handlebar's payroll is due in 5 hours. I can hit run payroll. What do you say? Should we do this thing? All right, so I'm brought first directly into Worksheet, which the lovely Larone talked about earlier. You should all know that accountants very much informed this. We all know you love a good table user interface. I can grab my client's file, which has all of the employees' hours and earnings from the previous time period. And from here, I can click CSV upload, and I'm prompted to upload my spreadsheet. So here's where Gen AI comes in. With AI powering our smart import, you can drop in any spreadsheet in any format, and Gusto will automatically map the data. Once the data is mapped, with that human loop that both Eddie and Will talked about, you can review the data and make any changes before importing it. So you might be thinking, what's the big deal? It looks pretty straightforward, right? We agree. Let's dig in a little bit. We'll show you some of the examples of how this is actually working under the hood. So first example is an expense reimbursement. So here what you're looking at on the left is a snapshot of the actual CSV. It's showing an expense reimbursement for Ashlyn, which the client noted manually at the bottom of the spreadsheet. On the right, you can see the output of Smart Import. So you can see that it correctly associated the $59 reimbursement to the right employee, even though it didn't at all adhere to the CSV format. Second example, it can correctly map an employee listed as Pat Churchland in the spreadsheet with a Patricia Churchland formal name in Gusto. Final example, one we've seen come up pretty frequently, I've heard from all of you, is an employee with multiple roles. And so here it can take multiple hours entries and sum them up automatically, even accounting for the multiple roles that employee performed over the last pay period. Pretty sweet. All right, so closing the hood up again, back to our preview. So again, any spreadsheet, any format, drop it in, automatically maps the data. When I click import, it takes all of that data, brings it into my client's account. I can change it, massage it. When I'm ready, I can hit this handy little button called Request Client Approval, and it will automatically send a draft payroll summary over to my client. My client can receive a notification. They can hit to review. They see payroll's good to go. All that is needed is an approval. They can easily review a summary. And then with one tap, they can hit submit. Good to go. Now, one last piece. We alluded to it earlier. I'm going back into Gusto Pro. And here I can see that Stephen approved the payroll in my all-new activity log in Gusto Pro. All right, so let's recap. 50 minutes to 5 minutes. How'd we do?
All right, Tough act to follow. So we've reviewed how we'll help you scale in cases where you're running payroll for your clients. Now let's talk about the other case, where your clients are running payroll and you're playing a support role. We know this is equally, if not more challenging in some cases. And we've heard that many of you are often acting as a first line of support to your clients, but it's difficult to do for a number of reasons. Let's dig into why. First, it's hard to discover and keep tabs on all the issues that need to be resolved. I don't know if anyone's heard, but we send a lot of emails. And in those emails, it's hard to discern what's an important issue and what's just noise. We also don't surface all the important issues in Gusto Pro. Second, you can't resolve many issues on your own. You need to contact support in order to do things like update state tax account numbers. And third, if you do need to get help from CX, you don't have visibility into the status of your case, and that can make it pretty hard to manage expectations with your clients. So we'd like to share with you how we imagine the future of this experience. In the future, whenever I add a client, I can identify the services that I'll provide to them through Gusto and what I'll be responsible for as the accountant. So in this case, with my client, Fire Creek Coffee, I'll be overseeing payroll, I'll be overseeing benefits, and I'll also be helping with certain aspects of HR, like the employee handbook. Now, based on how I've defined my responsibilities working with my clients, the communications that I get from Gusto are tailored. So hopping into my inbox here, I'll get an email if there's an issue with Fire Creek's payroll that I might want to be aware of and help resolve. But I no longer get all the emails that are relevant for Claire, who's the person at Fire Creek who's running payroll. She'll get... Love it, love it. Claire will get the email about payroll on autopilot being scheduled, for example. And I not only have email for discovering those important client issues, I also have Gusto Pro. And here I can see all tasks across all my clients in one place. All right. Just like my email, the tasks that I see in Gusto Pro are tailored based on the role that I play with each of those clients. And you can see that the tasks are grouped by task type, which makes it easier for me to scale support across my clients. You can imagine how this could turn into something like bulk actions in the future. For tasks like incorrect state tax account numbers that today I need to call customer support in order to update, I can update those myself in Gusto Pro. And if I'm in the process of registering for one of those state tax account numbers, then I can apply a 2-week payroll extension all by myself without going into my client's account. For issues that I can't resolve on my own, that I need to submit a ticket for, I can see those for all of my clients right in Gusto Pro. I can see the ticket number, I can see the current status, I can see the client, and I can see something that many of you have asked for, which is an ETA for when the issue will be resolved. And so now, providing that first line of support to my clients is so much more streamlined, making it easy to keep payroll, benefits, and HR running smoothly. All right, back to you, Bridgette.
Awesome. Thanks, Will. All right, so let's recap. We've showed you how we're going to help you unlock scale on running complex payrolls and finding and fixing client issues. So that's where we're headed over the next year. But what I consider to be even more exciting is that we've already started building a lot of these experiences, which makes me ask the question, does anyone want to see a demo? All right, so some quick background. Michael here, going back to Michael, the star of our show. He graciously offered up some of his client files to help us start testing a proof of concept of smart import. But what he didn't know is that we would have some results here to share with him and you all. Quick context for the audience. So this is one of his client files. It's not overly complex, but there's a couple tricky things that Smart Import's going to have to get right. So the first is this column called CTO. Michael, what's CTO?
Combined time off.
Thank you. So in our system, we have a different name for that field, so it's going to have to automatically map that up. Second, we've got a very generic column here called hours, so it's going to have to figure out that that's regular hours. And we've anonymized the employee names, but there were also some employees that weren't exactly matching names at Gusto, so it's going to have to get that right as well. All right, so should we see how Smart Import handled this file? All right. Okay, so we're here in payroll. We're going to upload our CSV, access Smart Import. We're going to grab that file that you all just saw. We're going to hit continue. Drum roll, please. All right.
Wow.
Michael, how did it handle the file?
Did Eddie just do this? Like, he got off stage and just did this? This is really cool.
Awesome. All right. So thank you, Michael.
Are you guys
Super
AI
appreciate it.
robots? You real?
Thank you all so much for your partnership. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.